Hello and welcome everyone to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences. This is the bonus episode, but guess what, Julia?
What, Marco?
We added something.
What did we add?
Dicks.
Hell yeah. You know we love dicks. We love just having dicks in our hands. We love putting dicks in our mouth. We eat a bag just about every single time we're here.
We do. They're fantastic. I tell you what. It's only a couple of weeks ago where I woke up and I didn't know I was going to have dicks. And then I had dicks and they were fantastic. And it's been every week since that
we've
been
craving them ever since.
Craving dicks.
Did you ever know you were going to be a dick guy?
You know, not until that day. And then everything changed. The whole world is different.
You saw color for the first time.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was like watching the Wizard of Oz, and all of a sudden everything
the
changed.
door opens and you're like, oh my God, look at what is this? This is amazing.
It's amazing. So we are very lucky today because, yes, of course, we're having dicks. I mean, which any day with dicks is amazing. But we have the head dick himself.
Well, I've been called worse, that's for sure. So, yeah, I'll take that.
First time guests on the podcast introduce themselves. So introduce yourself. Let us know what you do and what is your favorite color.
Ooh, good one.
Well, favorite color is easy. That's purple, as you can probably tell from my marketing. But my name is Jason Bullock, and I'm the owner and proprietor of Dick's Potato Chips here in Cincinnati. And I'm here to put dicks in your hands.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So you are not local to Cincinnati.
Correct.
So what made you come to Cincinnati and say this town needs more dicks? or like how did the dick story start?
I mean really, what town doesn't need more dicks if you really think it comes down to brass tacks? But yeah, so my wife and I moved here recently, back in February of this year. So she's a Midwestern gal from Illinois, and I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
And we
I know
met,
Marco's hometown. I'm going to be rude and cause some extra noise, and we're going to open some of these bags.
Please. I mean, I feel like the sound effects are a big part of it, right?
Oh, that squeak was not as
where
my
Rachel and I are from, we call it suburb of New Orleans. However, I mean, everybody in southern Louisiana is an LSU fan.
Yeah.
You're born and you're an LSU fan.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. So we do have, yes, absolutely.
Right. So I feel like the universe almost called me to be with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true.
I feel like
that's true.
It's divine ordination. So there's that part of it. But so as y'all know, I mean, potato chips are really the dominant area of being made here in the Midwest and along the East Coast. And so if you're going to do it and do it well, then this is the place to do it. So the story itself started a long time ago. I could go on I'll do my best to do the elevator pitch, but I come from the wine industry and I was working in hospitality and marketing back in 2015. And you probably remember all the Targets of the world and the Department of Defense and Walmart, and they all got hacked, right? And everybody got these emails that said, you've been hacked and we're going to give you a year of credit monitoring and all that sort of thing. So that happened to the company that I worked for. And so I was on first base for answering those phone calls as they came in. And as you can imagine, it ranged from, confused to mildly irritated to sheer panic, and all the way to the end of it, which is very much a lot of anger. And so I got one of those phone calls one Saturday morning, and I got a chance to listen to that for about 10 minutes in my ear. And so the guy eventually hung up on me, and one of my coworkers had heard my end of the conversation, and so he kind of poked his head in and said, "Hey man, don't worry, just tell that guy to eat a bag of dicks." And I thought about that. That really struck me. I mean, I know that phrase was starting to enter the vernacular at that time, but it was new to me. And so I'm kind of a glass half full kind of a guy, or a beer half full kind of a guy. And I said, well, eat a bag of dicks. Eat a bag of dicks. What comes in a bag? Well, potato chips come in a bag. And so, okay, so I quick Google search. There's no Dick's Potato Chips. So I said, all right, well, maybe we can put this into a thing. So one of the interesting things about Dick's Potato Chips is the marketing actually led the product. Normally, if you introduce, if you start your own business, you start your own restaurant, you've already had the thing in mind.
I want to make potato chips. How do I sell those potato chips,
Right.
where this was just.
Right. It was the marketing phrase. How do we make a product around the marketing phrase? So,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So, if ball bearings were funny, then I would be selling Eat a Bag of Dicks ball bearings. But as it happens, potato chips are something that actually come in a bag and are funny and to eat. And, if you think about it, when you're eating potato chips, you're probably with your friends. Maybe it's movie nights. Maybe you're doing a podcast at Higher Gravity. You're a tailgate party at an LSU tailgate party or a Bengals party. You're primed to have fun. You're with your buds. You're with your people. And so, the potato chip is designed to just kind of fall in line with that. It becomes part of the experience. Whereas other potato chips, you just kind of pour it into a bowl and off you go. Whereas this, you're actually making jokes with your friends.
You want to
about
keep
the
it
food.
in the bag and make sure that people see the packaging and see what you're serving them or what you're providing to them.
Yeah, exactly. And so as it turns out, I was able to partner with a family company in Ohio that makes these potato chips. And so here we are.
So they're all local. That is fantastic.
Yep. And so we're really trying to get the word out to all of our local friends like you and saying, hey, eat a bag of dicks.
And you're in a good number of bars, bottle shops. You're in Party Source now?
Yeah.
Or you're getting into Party Source?
Yeah, we just got into Party Source. I did a product demo. Every so often they do this, what's called a soiree, where a bunch of people, wine and beer and different food vendors will come, and they invited me. And so we're stocked in there now. We just got into Jungle Gyms.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we're very excited about that. So we're in some bars and local grocery outlets around town. And so we're just kind of spreading it out. We're really excited.
So to throw a couple other names out, so Jungle Gyms, Party Source, you mentioned before we started recording Binsky's and the Bay Horse Cafe, both higher gravity locations.
Right.
Do you want to toss out a couple other names just for people in different areas of the city?
Yeah, Tilly's Lounge in Northsides and Murphy's Pub over by UC, Cincy Gourmet Deli right off campus at UC, Clifton Market, Jay Gumbo's we're there too. Yeah, so
Nice.
so we're getting around and word's getting out.
Have there been any, I don't want to say negative reactions to kind of the name and the branding, but have you gotten anyone, either a location you want to try to get into, or even just the patrons?
Is anyone clutching their pearls?
Is anyone clutching their pearls and going, this is terrible? Whether it be just someone who's sitting at the bar going, oh, that's terrible. How can you do that? Or when you go into a bar and say, hey, here's my product. This is what, I'd love for you to carry it. And they go, oh, this is too much. Has anyone?
Oh, of course. As you can imagine, there's pearl clutchers all over the country. I was actually surprised, coming from Louisiana, how many there were there. And I get to say this because I'm from Louisiana, so it was very interesting that considering itself to be such a pious place, and yet on the other hand, I know Louisiana.
So how many times when you've promoted your product and someone's like, that is absolutely not something we're in, that you've been able to, with a smile on your face as you're walking out the door, just turn and just say, hopefully you'll be eating a bag of dicks soon. And that could go either way.
Right. I mean, that's part of the fun, right? It could be, especially this is an election year, this could be, you could say it in a funny, positive way, or you could say it in a less funny, positive way.
It's all in the inflection.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
yes.
So it's all in how you handle your dicks. And so, so you could do with it as you will. So yes, we once people, there's actually one potential customer that I have in mind that I would like to convert, if you will, who has given me initial no. But I'm hoping that
once they see that things are taking off with dicks,
right.
and everyone wants to have dicks in their hand.
Right.
Like they're like, you know what, we're missing this ship.
Yeah.
We need to get in on this. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, the space in between where I grew up and where you grew up had a famous chippery in between it.
Is that right?
Zapp's Potato Chips.
Oh, of course, Zapp's. Yeah.
And then, of course, there was family stuff, and you can Google it. They're now owned by Utz. But now that they're owned by Utz, I mean, you can get the Cajun craw taters up here and all that other, the dill pickle and all that other stuff. But it's cool that there's an independent brand that has sort of a route back to, the similar spaces where we grew up, and then now is hometown in Cincinnati. I think it's great.
Yeah, and sort of my aspiration is to do those sorts of things that Zapp's has done, and Grippo's, and Dot's Pretzels, and those sorts of places that have really bootstrapped themselves and become nationally known. And that's I almost have to remind myself and others about this, is the actual quality of the chip. I mean, people get such a great laugh out of the marketing, which is great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but the actual quality of the chip, I'm like,
right.
I sometimes have to remind people, oh yeah, by the way, try the chip.
They're actually good, yeah.
Try them.
And I'll be honest, when I first saw them up here, I'm like, okay, this is funny. I have to get a bag just because
Well, you
of
have
the
to.
name. I have to get a picture. I have to,
Right.
It's like when you see a Pilsner and somebody wants to charge like $15 for a pint. You're like, I got to try one.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Like, how
because it's
amazing
gonna
is
be
that
good,
Pilsner?
right.
Yeah, but we want people coming back, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we don't want to be some sort of kitschy thing that people just say, oh, I bought it and just forgot
One and
about
done,
it.
and just
Right.
But no, I opened it. I'm like, oh, I need to get 2 more bags to take home for my
Right.
boyfriend. Have him try these, and he's like, yeah, you're going to need to get more of these every time you're up there. Whenever you see some. So-
Yeah, and what's been very interesting to me is if you look at the chip market, and I'm sure we all love walking up and down the chip aisle. I've certainly spent my fair share of time there. Is all the potato chip companies now seem to be chasing the next flavor, right?
Yeah.
So you've got potato chips now that taste like cupcakes and pizza and
things that you're
porterhouse
going,
steak.
if I want a cupcake, I'm not going to buy a bag of
Ketchup.
chips. Yeah.
It's a ketchup chip.
I'll just go buy that.
Right, right.
And that's because they're trying to chase the next big thing, right? They don't want to make the thing go viral or whatever. But if in doing the market research over the years, as I have, it's very unsexy. But the plain old salty potato chip is by far, it's not even close, is the biggest selling potato chip in the United States.
It's all encompassing. It
Because-
goes with anything. You can put whatever on it. Like you can make just a salty chip sweeter depending on like what
Well,
you're dipping it in. You can
right.
put it on burgers. You can do that where you have all these weird flavors. You can eat them, but that's kind of it.
Yeah.
I think it can be even simpler than that, Julia. It tastes like salt and potato.
Yeah.
Which is
Which is
just
what it is,
delicious.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And whether you deep fry them and have them hot as a French fry, or whether you have them, hot as a potato chip just coming out of the fryer, or whether you have them, cold and out of a bag, and if they have an extremely balanced saltiness and they taste like potato, it just tastes good.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. You don't need to
Absolutely.
mess with it. And so that's why we have the salty chip, and that was our flagship. And then, recently introduced the barbecue flavor, which is a distant second in terms of popularity.
The barbecue is my favorite because, like it says, sweet and smoky.
Yeah.
A lot of times with barbecue, you get almost too much. It's not a heat, but you get too much of that that buildup of that. Just that barbecue spice.
Yeah.
But
It
with
can-
this, that little bit of sweetness just makes sure that it just stays so incredibly balanced. And I'm like, I can eat the whole bag without ever taking a break.
Right,
It's
right, yeah.
amazing.
And-
And crumbled on mac and cheese,
Oh,
the absolute best.
Boom.
The
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I've learned, since the introduction of the barbecue, that people are very particular about their barbecue chips.
especially
just as-
here with Grippos.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
yes.
I mean, and it occurred to me later on, of course, because people are particular about their barbecue meat.
True.
And, and so there's all different types of, there's Carolina barbecue and Texas barbecue and St. Louis barbecue and Memphis and all these other things. So the closest one that I've been able to find to associate with our flavor of barbecue chip is a Kansas City style.
Okay.
Which is
That makes sense.
Yeah, because again, you do.
It's more that dry rub. It's more of like it has more of that sweetness.
Exactly.
Than,
The sweetness, I think, is what makes it a little
Yeah.
bit more Kansas City, and I'm sure you'll get some feedback from some barbecue experts in your viewership or your
Yeah.
listenership that will disagree
Yeah.
with me or
No, that makes
clarify.
sense. And you think Carolina, you think more vinegar,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's true.
So it's been very effective for us so far, and it's very interesting to me because people really, I mean, they really love their salty, or they really love their barbecue. I mean, it's very interesting to me. Again, not coming from a snacks or food background, to learn how passionate people are
Right.
about their food preferences and their snack preferences. Man, people really do get into it. They'll come
So
up
what
and tell you about it.
What is the ratio that you've seen with sales at all the locations you're in on? Is it like a 2-to-1 ratio of people buying the salty versus the barbecue, or is it still?
It depends. It's account dependent.
Okay,
So, for
okay.
example, I sell to a brewery in North Carolina, and actually a couple of breweries in North Carolina, and they only like the salty. They tried the barbecue, and they said it just didn't do it for them.
Okay.
So they're all about the salty, whereas some of the other places, like when we were at Party Source, it was probably 3 or 4 to 1 barbecue over salty.
Okay.
So it really is kind of account specific. I can't quite put a finger on it, why that is. Sometimes you can't put the finger on how the dicks are doing, but I do the best I can. You just do more research. You just got to keep putting your feelers out there.
So you mentioned North Carolina. So besides Cincinnati and other, I guess, Ohio and Party Source, which would be Northern Kentucky, where else can you get your dicks? Can you get your dick fix?
Yeah, well, I mean, gosh, we are in a pretty well-known brewery up in Stowe, Vermont, called the Alchemist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I think
congratulations.
I think we've heard of them.
We've heard, once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
so
that's
we're
awesome.
in Big Pillow Brewing, which is the one in North Carolina. We are in there's what's it called? Buck Bald Brewing, which has locations in Tennessee and North Carolina. We are at a kooky little place in Portland, Oregon.
That is so fantastic.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Called Food Fight.
Fighting over your dicks.
That's right. They and they're salty.
It's a dick fight.
It is a dick fight, yeah. Sword fight is, I think, with the technical term.
That's
for that,
right.
Yeah.
Is that what that is, Julia?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, but from what I've heard.
Yeah, so we're expanding, and we find these kooky little things. I'm looking into Cleveland. Like I said, I found a guy that's going to help me out in Dayton, and so really because of the support and the sense of community that we felt in the Cincinnati area, we really want to focus on Ohio and Northern Kentucky, and then kind of go out from there. Simply because those are people that I feel like I can. Because I want to go out and do things like this, right? I feel because
you want to be in the community, not just shipping things out to different places.
And so much of the joy that I get from starting this business is just seeing people and laughing with people. I just feel like in this world we don't laugh enough, and if I can do something that gives people just a moment of joy, even if it's just a second or a couple of seconds out of their day where they're laughing and they're like, "Oh man, this is ridiculous."
Like this is ridiculous, but my God, are these good?
Yeah.
So and you're just sitting back like at a bar, like no one knows you don't have a dick shirt on or anything like that, and you're just going, "I love watching people put my dicks in their mouth." I mean, this is making me feel complete. Tear rolls down your eyes.
That's right. That's what I was put on this earth to do. Is just bring a little levity in a world that sometimes lacks that.
That is fantastic.
So currently the format that we have in front of us is sort of a snack size bag. It's bigger than if you go to the store and get a variety pack of chips or snacks.
Yeah.
It's 2.75 ounces. Is this the only size format that you have, or do you have bigger dicks?
Yeah. Well,
how big can your dicks get?
Yeah. Well, gosh, if I had a nickel for every time somebody asked me that, I would have retired by now.
Are you a grower or a shower when it comes to these bags of dicks? That's what we need to know.
What I've learned is that people seem to like their dicks in threes, right? And so I've got the 2 flavors right now. I've got the salty and the barbecue. And so what I want to do is introduce a new flavor in this format.
Okay.
And then kind of establish that, and then get kind of the bigger bags, the fun size bags. Okay. So I call these my fun bags.
Well, fun size are the smaller candies.
That's right. Everybody. Yeah. I mean,
you just cup them in your hand, and they just fit really nicely as you're holding them.
That's
there
right.
You go.
That's
it doesn't have to be a 2-hander. I mean, just as long as.
That's right. Yeah, just a nice pair of fun bags is all we really want. And then we're gonna go bigger, but. With that in mind, of course, if we're going to have a third flavor, then we need to have a third flavor. So I'm going to have some breaking news with y'all right now.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm going to unleash something on the world exclusively here right now.
Are you going to show an exclusive dicks?
Yeah, I sure am. Are you ready?
God. Oh, yeah.
Are you sitting down?
I am sitting down. Or should I be standing up? I don't know.
So is this going to go on the OnlyFans content then? If we're getting like new dicks just being exposed right here? This is awesome.
That's a great idea. So
that would be a really funny marketing thing, like join our OnlyFans.
Oh my
and it's
God.
just pictures of like potato chips, like with like I don't know, feet blurred, but like you can't really see anything. But like the focus is the chip, in like, and there's like someone in a bikini or like I don't even know, but like really blurry to where there is no way that that's the actual focus of the image. The focus is the chip.
Right, or maybe they just have the chips positioned just so.
Just so,
You know,
for the people watching on the live stream, they got that
Oh
one.
my God, that's
bits.
fantastic.
Yeah. So,
That's
so without further ado, these are not ready yet. So,
Okay.
so the wonderful things you learn when you own a business. So, the chips are ready and the bags are ready. However, there was some supply chain issue with one of the inks that they use to make the bag. So I have the prototype of the bag, and I have the chips themselves. And they should be ready for release upon the world next month. But in the meantime,
awesome.
I have these to show you to, and I'm hoping that you'll try the chips with me.
Absolutely,
right now.
yeah.
Okay, so without further
I'm
ado, here we go.
excited.
So I'm pleased to introduce you to, and of course I know this is, we're listening, but here you are. It's Hot Dicks
Hot and
Yes.
spicy dick.
Hot and
That is
spicy
awesome.
dicks.
coming soon.
That
Yeah,
is
they are.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, I love the consistency with the different flavors and the packaging.
Thank you.
I mean, you have the font is pretty much the same with everything.
Right.
But there are slight color differences to where just by looking, you can see like the hot and, so, you know, those of you not on the live stream, the hot and spicy, the focus of the bag color, the color of the sack is red. It's a nice red, just warm sack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's
salty
what you want,
is pretty much all, I don't say all purple because there is, you know, yellow and stuff like that, but it's a purple bag. And then the sweet and smoky barbecue is a black sack.
Yeah.
So I mean, you are
it's
very inclusive.
Right,
with-
I do.
with what you wanna do.
I've seen
Oh, that
people
looks
like
so good.
Yeah, people like dicks in different sizes and flavors and,
Yeah,
and
different
looks.
colors.
Yeah.
It's all
So-
about what's inside. That really
Exactly.
counts.
That's what I've always said. So so this just gives everybody a little something
Oh,
for
that's so
themselves.
cool. 'Cause
fantastic.
I love spicy stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Yes.
so
Oh, look at
I
those.
went through several iterations of recipes on this. So this actually took me
These are-
of the longest of the three. This one took the most time to kind of get there because I went through the first couple of rounds. It was a lot of heat. And I know that a lot of people are saying, and I read the industry mags, that everybody just wants hot, hot, hot. But to me, that just doesn't do a whole lot. You need some flavor
There's
in
a
there.
level.
Somewhere. You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
just burn your tongue off,
With
Can
us being from
can I put
Louisiana,
my hand in your sack and try some of these?
Please. Oh, yeah.
I think that's a misunderstanding about the food from Louisiana and the culture.
Yeah.
That where they think that everything is just, well, it's just hot.
Right.
And that's not the case. It's full of flavor.
Right.
And
Yes.
occasionally that flavor can, dip over into being, a heat where, you are, sweating when you're eating.
Yeah.
But it's really more about the depth of flavor.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right.
What
Yeah,
I think
and
is
I
even
completely-
picking that build level. Like if you want to keep downing them, that heat level might build.
Yeah.
Or if you want to eat them slower, you're not. Well, Mark, I was going to cheers the chips with everyone,
Oh,
where you
oh,
just shove
yeah.
it into your mouth. Marco can't keep your dicks out of his mouth. I'm telling you.
It's okay. I knew it when I met him that that was going to be the response I was going to get.
So you've had. So do you want to cheers a chip
Oh,
with
yes,
us? Yeah,
absolutely.
I know. I have a small piece just because I want to make sure I'm not chewing for like 5 minutes.
Sure.
Chip,
All right.
Chip cheer.
Chip
I've never
cheer.
done a chip
Cheers.
cheer before.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, Julie's having hers. There we go.
Ooh.
Couple of chips down now.
Oh, I like that. That tingle.
Yeah, and
great.
it builds a little bit, but I didn't want super, super hot.
No.
I wanted heat, but I didn't want it to overpower the flavor of the actual chip. So, yeah.
That's really good. That
Yeah.
is really well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm one of those people, I like trying the really hot sauces
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. What kind of, is there a specific pepper you're using for this, or is it just more of just the kind of like an extract
Yeah,
that
it's
you're using? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
it's a little bit of cayenne, and then strangely a little bit of paprika, I believe.
Okay.
I haven't read all over my ingredients
right.
in some
Yeah, I was
some
going to
time.
say, I can
You get
I
color
definitely get.
from
Yeah.
paprika. And
Yeah, and so it's,
these are good.
Yeah. So it's
Those are great.
Yeah, so it's the next iteration. So I feel like the long-winded answer to your question is now that we have these 3 SKUs that'll be out, we can ramp up these SKUs because to the earlier conversation that we have, I'm never going to be able to. I don't have the the research and development department of Frito-Lay or any of these guys where I can release all these tens of dozens of flavors. I'm never going to be that, and I don't want to be that. Let's focus on the quality of the chips that we have And instead of chasing a flavor, we're actually just going with the humor of the product and
just
make
keeping
quality
a solid
product.
quality product.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I think when we have these 3 SKUs and then we ramp up to the bigger size bag, like you were talking about, then we'll be in a really good place. And, if down the line we want to introduce a new flavor here and there, I mean, because there are some that are really good out there, and I don't want to deny the opportunity to do that. Mm-hmm. But let's focus on these core flavors and let people have fun with the joke.
Yeah,
That's great.
I like this because if people want something that's a little more intense than the barbecue, this is going to be where they're going to want to go.
Yeah.
Man.
Those are great.
These are fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. And it's been a strange journey. I always think about this almost every day, because when I started this business, I said to myself, well, the only 2 negatives, with the exception I just don't have any business experience or any food experience. But other than that, I'm ready to go.
Other than that, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've formed the LLC in 2015, and here we are now in 2024. So it's taken me some time, but again, I was out in California. I was in the Bay Area. A little more challenging to find, a family chip maker the way that I have here. So I just consider that the development stage.
Sometimes you just got to get your dick out.
That's right.
That's right. Just try.
Sometimes it takes longer for dicks to grow, than others.
Yeah.
So you just have to be patient with it.
But I feel like sometimes having that slow growth of your dick allows it to become a staple of the community organically, rather than, oh, here's this new hype thing, like some of those crazy flavors.
Right.
I'm going to try this once. I've got to try this one time, which honestly, I'll be perfectly honest, that's what I thought when I first saw these. Oh, this is hilarious. I'm going to buy a bag and then, okay.
Right,
whatever.
it's a gimmick.
And then I ate, I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. These are, I need all of these.
Yeah.
I need all the dicks.
Yeah.
I mean, I walked in the other week, Nick was bartending, and I'm like, Nick, I need dicks. And he just looked at me and I went, the chips.
Yeah,
and he's like, I know, but I just wasn't expecting that phrase. Right. I'm like, if you're selling them, you've got to expect as soon as people see it, the innuendo is flying.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the jokes write themselves, and that just contributes to the whole idea of the brand, is that people just want to have fun, and this gives them the opportunity to do that, and they can take it as far as they want or not,
or just Dick's potato chips. It doesn't have to be what we're making we're making it out to be. Yeah.
Right. And I knew going in when I started the company that ultimately I would love to be in the Krogers of the world, and I know that big companies like that are risk averse, and that's fine.
Sure.
But I ultimately, you want to be able to be in those sorts of markets, and so that's why I put Eat a Bag of Dicks on the back of the label and not on the front. So when you're the suburban parent bringing 6-year-old Johnny through the chip aisle, they're not going to see it.
Although I will say, to talk about the branding and the packaging a bit, the front of the bag, Dick's potato chips. You have the flavor. You have One-Eyed Willie on it. Which, I mean, again, if you're not really paying attention, it just looks like one of those like 50s cartoon characters with an eye patch.
Right.
It doesn't. Unless your mind's in the gutter, you're not going to immediately go, oh, that's a dick joke. But I will say, on the front of it, you can make dicks get bigger.
I do.
Which is fantastic.
Yes.
And I love it. Have the website on the front, which is, I think, fantastic. A lot of companies put their website or any type of information on the product or how to find out more about the product. It's on the back of the bag in like teeny tiny print. You have it on the front and the back of the bag.
Yep.
So no matter what you're doing, you're going to be able to know how to find out more information on dicks. And you can order these on the website as well, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yep.
So
if I need a case delivered to my house, I know where to go, which
That's right.
I may or may not be ordering sometime soon.
That's right. And for all of your listeners who are not in the Cincinnati area, we do free shipping on any orders over $15. So
that's
fantastic.
fantastic.
That's 6 bags basically. So you can go through those. And,
you're going to get through that in no time.
Right. With football season coming up, it's time to get ready for those tailgate parties. In fact, I keep having to. Summer's flying by. Labor Day is right around the corner. So you've got all those gatherings coming up. You're going to want some potato chips there.
So here's a question on that. Because you are going to have bigger gatherings happening, people that are going to want kind of that bulk, they're going to buy 3, 4, 5 of those party-sized bags of chips.
Yeah.
I know that there are some of like the bigger companies. You go to Costco, and you can get like the cardboard box with like the bag of chips in it. Have you ever thought about offering that website only for the bigger parties, or
Yeah.
is that kind of not?
That was in development. I
next
actually went
steps.
to Walmart.com and was going to do that for them.
Okay.
And I've developed the whole thing. I have
Okay.
the box size and all the you got to do all the things with getting the UPC and designing the box itself,
Right.
and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that is in development. But when we moved to Cincinnati, all that sort of my focus sort of changed a little
sure.
bit,
Yeah.
both on getting more established here in town and then also getting the hot dicks ready. So that is something that is on the horizon. I mean, I've got a million
cool.
different ideas I'd love
Sure,
to do.
sure.
And
But you have to figure out what's going to actually make sense.
Right.
Do you put your focus on, a bulk order box that might sell, maybe a few hundred every month versus I need to focus on the hot dicks and I don't say like regular size bag
Right.
of chip, but like the grocery store size bag of chips, which are going to sell 1,000 a month.
Yeah.
I'm just picking random numbers out
Yeah.
of the air.
Yeah, there's so many things, that I want to do. T-shirts, like the one I'm wearing right now.
Yes, fantastic
people say,
shirt.
I'd love to have a T-shirt. I've got those koozies,
The koozies,
that are
yes,
out there now.
yes,
So,
thank you.
so there's all kinds of stuff that I'm wanting to do, and I'm one of those type of people that will get super excited about something and just go until 3 a.m. just Googling stuff and how do I get this made and where's the manufacturer for this and who's the
Been
designer
there.
for this? Yeah. So I will do that and have gone on those jags for several hours at a time where I'm like, oh man, what would be great if we did this and sold over here. But yeah, so I'm learning to pace myself and thankfully the hot dicks have been a way for me to channel that energy because I'm actually able to eat the results of the recipe. So
Right.
so I'm
You're not
I've been
buying
excited.
your own T-shirt
Right.
over and over and over. I know that not that it's the same scale, the same thing at all, but we've talked about, do we want T-shirts for the podcast? I mean, the listenership is, for what we do, for such a niche space that we're in, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But how many people are actually going to buy a T-shirt? We know that there are a
Right.
few people, so we'll do like a one-off here and there. But does it make sense for us to invest money into having stock at one of our houses or like pay for a print-on-demand thing for something that might sell a handful?
Right.
Versus let's make sure that some of the extra money that we might have go into upgrading the mics or the headsets.
Yeah.
Or something that's actually contributing to the core of what we're doing.
Yeah,
So,
the behind-the-scenes stuff that
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
sexy, but has to be there in order
Right.
for you to do your
Right.
job. Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
you will get 100 people that say, oh my God, I need a shirt.
Yeah.
I need a shirt. And they say, okay, cool, I'm offering shirts. And you get like 10 orders. And
Right.
you're going, what happened to the other 90 of you
Yeah.
that said you needed a shirt?
Yeah.
Right.
And now you're not buying. Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of trying to find that balance.
Yeah, and
it's-
because you're in a similar situation as me, people really get excited about what you're doing and they want to support you, and so
Absolutely,
suddenly the imaginations start to kick in, and they've got all these great ideas. And, oh, what if you did this? And what if you did that? What if- and suddenly you get caught up in that too.
Oh, sure, sure.
I've gone on to Vistaprint and spent 6 hours at a time looking at banners and displays and refrigerator magnets and
Yep.
T-shirts and
Yep.
all manner of
stickers
things.
and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Right.
yeah.
You're going, but how much realistically we'll go out there? Like I'm gonna drop $500 on all of this
Yeah.
merch. Will I actually recoup? Even if you sell for the exact same cost that you
Yeah.
bought it for, will I actually recoup?
Yeah. Then what?
Right. We've had talks. Oh, we should do this. We should do that. We should have this kind of merch and that. And I'm going, I would love to, but realistically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what does that? How do we kind of recoup that?
Yeah, exactly. So I do love I love the enthusiasm that people pour into it, and people really are enthusiastic. But as I've gotten a little bit better, I won't say that I've mastered it yet, but I have gotten a little bit more of a control over my 12-year-old boy on Christmas morning, trying to just take it easy on the Christmas wish list.
Yeah.
Of okay, will this actually contribute to the business, and try and think like an adult instead of the kids.
And I will say you shouldn't try to completely tamp down that excitement.
100%.
Otherwise, if you're like, nope, that's not going to do it, I'm just sticking with what I have, well, where's the fun in that?
Right. Yeah. You have to let yourself get caught up in it a little bit, because you carry that momentum and that energy into your interactions with the people who hopefully are your customers or will be your customers. So
Yeah.
so you have to be enthusiastic, and you do have to listen.
Sure.
You do have to listen,
Sure.
because people have very good ideas. But yeah.
So what other ideas have you heard from people, either flavors that they say, oh, it would be so cool if you had a pickle flavored chip, or this, like things that you're going, okay, down the line,
Yeah.
if things work out, what are some of the either craziest or coolest ideas that you're going, if I had all the money in the world, if I had all the resources in the world, these would be my next 2 or 3 things for the business, be it merch, be it flavors,
Yeah.
be it packaging. What would you try to do next?
Yeah, I'm trying to, in my mind, filter because some of them are funny and some are borderline offensive, some are actually offensive. But one of the funniest things that I've learned, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this and understand this, Julia, is the women. Man, they have got the things that are going on in their minds.
Oh, wait, when you said inappropriate, I had several things that I'm like, I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah,
not even going to say
I know.
it.
I almost feel like I want to turn the question back at you because I think you'll have a much better response to this than I do. Because man, when I started, I told on our very first date with my now wife, I told her about this idea that I had, and this was 8.5 years ago, and you could see the wheels turning in her mind then, and she told her girlfriends and her sister, and of course I've told some of my female friends, and man, God. So let me just think. So there's one idea where. You know how sometimes the potato chip, like with French fries, they'll leave the skin on, right? So it gives you a little bit more texture and flavor from the skin.
Yeah.
And so, some people have wanted to just have the end of the potato, with just the skin.
Yeah. What were those? God, I don't think I've seen these in decades. Potato skins. There was a chip that wasn't. I don't know if it was actually potato skin or just brown coloring sprayed onto the back of a chip. But no, I love that.
Yeah, so those would be, Dick's tips, and then of course it would be,
that's perfect.
Just put the tips in your mouth.
A whole bag of just the tips.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, and there's obviously other things you can delve into with, leaving the skin on and that sort of thing, and different colors that we sort of alluded to earlier. But yeah, before I get myself into too much trouble, because I know this is a PG-13, sometimes R-rated podcast, but
I mean, we have the explicit tag. If you let your kids listen to it, I mean, that's on you, not on us.
So, outside of talking with you about Dick's and everything that is chips and everything that's happening, what have you gotten to experience, if anything, from the craft beer side being now new to Cincinnati and the Cincinnati area? Is it really your thing? Is it not really your thing? Have you, in trying to, you mentioned some really cool breweries, have you done a little bit of hanging around the brewery scene at all?
Yeah, I have. And coming from the wine industry, for many years I was mostly a wine drinker and still am. But there are some outstanding breweries in the Bay Area that I've enjoyed for many years. Lagunitas and Russian River, Anchor was out there. I think they had some issues going on, but
they closed.
Yeah,
I mean they may be coming back.
Well, they have a new owner.
They have a new owner, so
yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah, so it's possible. So there was that, and then of course coming from Louisiana, there was Abita. Abita's still there. In fact, I was just at Allen's Cafe on Sunday and enjoyed an Abita strawberry. But here, obviously, usually I come home and my Cincy Light is my just get home, and I just need something to take the edge off.
Nice.
But yeah, so the Taft Brewery is not too far from us. So that's a great place to just go hang out and get a pizza and enjoy the vibe. Let's see, 50 West has been good so far. I mean, the Rheinguy's Truth, of course. I mentioned Cincy Light, but here, I'm trying this. What is it? The Low G.
Yeah, made by Westside
very
Brewing.
tasty. Yeah, so.
Westside Brewing's not that far from Clifton.
Yeah. And I've been to Braxton. So it's been a combination of both tap rooms and breweries that I've been going to. So
I mean, you've only been here for
6 months or so.
Right. So I mean, there are so many places here in
moving
Cincinnati.
sucks. And so it's a lot. I moved just over a year ago. I still have boxes that I haven't moved out of the way, let alone unpacked.
Josh moved into my house 9 years ago, and he still has boxes that
he's
are
getting
unpacked.
to it.
But
he said he's getting to it.
Fine.
Yeah, I mean, having grown up in Louisiana, and you'll appreciate this, and then having moved to California, one of the things that I'm discovering, basements.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you can put stuff in there.
There's no basements in South Louisiana.
No.
Because you dig
They
down
would
far
flood.
enough.
Right,
It's
yeah.
swamp.
Unless you're ready to get wet,
We built on top of landfills.
Yeah.
And no one wants a wet dick. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
It gets a little soggy. Yeah, depends, different strokes.
Basements totally changed life.
Yeah, so I can just put all my crap down there, and
then
so
you
there's
get more
boxes.
crap and put even more crap down there. And then you go, oh God,
So
what
much
is
room for
happening?
craft inside our own house.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I mean, I'm living the life, man. That is a big deal.
That's awesome.
I'm digging it.
Really awesome.
Well, what I would like to do is, and no time frame, whatever. But I think Marco and we should at least give Jason 2 brewery suggestions on if
Yes.
you decide to do some brewery travels and check out some other places. Some places that we would say you really need to hit up this place.
Absolutely.
And again, I mean, I still haven't been to every single brewery in Cincinnati because they're like, if you count all the different tap rooms, they're like 80 of them or something.
Yeah.
It's beyond ridiculous. And you can get lost in the shuffle and go, there are too many. I'm just going to stick to the places that I'm familiar with because you're going to get good beer there.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be just like looking at your chips and going, it's funny, but I don't think I'm going to like Dick's.
Yeah.
If you don't kind of expand, your horizons a little bit, man, you don't know what you're missing. So, Marco, do you have 2 that you would want to toss out for the next potential ones to visit?
Yeah. Well, gosh, if
There are
I'm
no
only
wrong
going to give
answers.
2.
Yeah.
I'm only going to give 2. I'm going to go way north.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Common Beer Company in Mason.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to go to New Ales in Middletown.
Yes.
And I'm not including places that I'm affiliated working with.
Okay.
That's fair.
I will
That's
tell
fair.
you those off air.
Okay. All right.
And why you should go.
Okay.
And
That's
so
fair.
don't anyone be mad at me. I don't publicize, this is not our content is not a content that is made for, by, or sponsored by the place that I work at.
Yeah.
And so in a way, sometimes I feel that's unfair in the sense of
them,
that I don't actually communicate a lot about that, but I don't on purpose. So,
Sure.
But anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so those are your 2. I'm going to go with 2 that are slightly different parts of town. Narrow Path Brewing in
Okay.
Loveland.
I knew you were going to say that one, which is why I didn't.
Yeah. They are right on the Loveland bike trail, walking trail, so you can get the whole little Loveland downtown area is Adora. But there is a huge, it's all paved, walking, biking trail that is absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
The vibe down there is amazing. Kind of a nano brewery, so very small batch, incredibly good, high quality beer. There's always going to be something amazing down there. And the other one is also another smaller one, and I know you know the other one I'm going to say. Fibonacci Brewing, yep, in Mount Healthy. I think they have one of the best beer gardens in the city. They have a huge lawn next to the tap room, fenced in. They have goats, they have chickens.
Yeah.
They try to get. I'm probably going to get some of these stats wrong. I believe they try to use 80% local ingredients in 80% of their beer. So they try to use like a huge number of local ingredients, whether it's local honey, local hops, local like Thai basil for some of their beers.
Oh, wow.
All small batch, all just beyond phenomenal, and the space is absolutely amazing. Like I
Okay.
said, when the weather's great, they have these huge oak trees. They have lights. My nose is running from the hot chips.
That's okay. I suppose
it's-
that's a.
They have
sometimes-
solo stoves out in the beer garden for when it gets cooler out there. I mean, it is just one of the most amazing places to go.
Yeah, I'm excited to take advantage of the weather now and the fall weather.
Absolutely.
Because that was, my wife very much pitched the fall weather here
Yes,
when we moved.
yes.
So I'm very excited about that. And I think for me, I associate that time of year with beer. I think partially
Sure.
because of the weather itself, but also football season.
Oh,
yeah.
I
100%.
associate,
100%.
just having a cold beer with your buds
Yes.
during football season. So I think this is the perfect time for me to be getting these recs because
Oh, yeah.
now 'tis the season.
Yeah, because all 4 of the places we mentioned, they also have great outdoor spaces.
Yeah.
I mean, Narrow Path and Fibonacci 100%. Common has a great patio in the back
They have
that
a great
you don't
patio.
really
New
realize
Wales,
is
not-
there.
not
They don't
really.
have a ton, but they do. But because they're in a door, they have that huge lawn.
They do.
If like you go
Yeah.
out their door and just like around the corner, they have a huge open lawn space that a lot of times Middletown will put like live music on
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So anywhere you go in the city is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
You're going to find the places that you love. You're going to find the places that still need to have dicks. They're
That's right.
missing dicks, and
That's true.
you can take your dick and just insert it right into
Right
the middle
in.
of what
That's where
they're
it
doing,
belongs. Yeah.
and it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. And maybe I can just ease it in slowly, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
It doesn't have to
Could
be
be
like
that way.
this hard rush and just
Yeah.
like driving it into.
Yeah.
Just slowly. Just hey, have a bag of dicks, see what you think. If you like, I can come back again and again.
Yeah, whenever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, on demand.
Exactly. You want my dicks, it's there.
That's right.
It is there. It can be in you in no time whatsoever.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. I can come tonight. I can come tomorrow.
Right.
I can come next week.
I mean, with the online ordering, you can come anytime.
Exactly. 24/7. Boom.
Right.
I mean, see? Marco's
Amazing.
getting now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like the gates are opening a little bit for Marco right now.
100%. 100%. Kind of the last thing to sort of wrap this up so we can enjoy some more chips and beers, and we still have a whole show that we need to do about a whole thing. It is football season.
Yes.
I know that because you came from Louisiana, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, you have a bit of a tie to the Bengals, but is there an NFL team that you root for?
Yeah, usually the Saints.
And there are only 2 wrong answers. So.
I bet I know one of them. But yeah, the Saints. I mean, growing up in Baton Rouge, LSU is pretty much the only game in town, and I grew up in the '80s when the Saints were in their full
Titans.
Aints glory.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was real bag over the head, Aints days. And so when Drew Brees came on, by that time I had moved to California, and so I felt like a prodigal son. Oh yeah, I'm a Saints fan. Yeah, now that they're winning, you're a Saint. Now that Drew Brees is there, but so I've always, but they are New Orleans, and I love New Orleans, and they have had a lot more success in the past 15 years or so. And the Bengals are a new sort of adopted for me, like you said, since Joe and Jamar got there. But yeah, what do you want to tell me your wrong answers on air, or is that off air?
Were you in Louisiana for the Jim Haslett years?
No, I was going by then.
Because I met him.
Oh yeah,
here in Cincinnati.
Yep.
I met him.
Getting your hair cut.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
I walked into the sports clubs in Montgomery, and I just walked in after work, and I looked up, and a guy looked at me, and I went, Jim Haslett. And he looked at me. I said, I'm sorry, excuse me. Are you Jim Haslett? And he said, yeah. And then we had a whole conversation because, growing up in New Orleans area and him being a coach. But
I mean, one among my earliest memories are the Bum Phillips days. If that gives you a sense.
I had a poster of Bum Phillips. I had the schedule for the season, and it had like Bum Phillips, like with the cowboy hat, sort of superimposed.
Right. Yes. Sometimes they're one and the same. Right.
Yes, true. But the Steelers are one of the no teams.
Okay.
And kind of a tie between the Browns and the Packers for me personally.
Okay.
Are the other 2 no teams. Although, since Aaron Rodgers really isn't with the Packers anymore, it's kind of not as cringe.
Yeah.
But
does your Steelers thing extend over into the Pirates?
I'm not really a baseball fan,
okay.
So to me, anything else that exists in Pittsburgh is just okay.
Okay.
I've been to Pittsburgh. There's some great breweries up there, but the Steelers,
not okay. Got it. I just want to make sure because the Pirates now have this outstanding young pitcher who just came from LSU, and his name's Paul Skeens, and he's kind of set the world on fire a little bit right now with his pitching.
I have heard the name.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't
No. That's not going to be an issue. And again, I mean, I have friends that are fans of all the different teams, and it's good-natured ribbing.
Yeah.
I'm never going to cheer for them, but I mean, if it's your team, I might judge you a little for it, but it doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Right.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. Yeah, like I'll be friends with any other SEC person as long as it's not game day.
On game day, exactly.
Right. Right. Today, University of Alabama, good folks, salt of the earth. Game day, it's a different story.
My mother-in-law and her husband. My mother-in-law is an LSU fan. Her husband's a Alabama.
Wow. How does that work?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Most of the time, it's her getting the better of them.
Sad to say. Yeah. I mean, my nephew went to Alabama, and so even that, he's my blood, and I'm like,
and you're like,
God, this is tough.
This isn't.
But that was a decision he consciously made.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
You could have gone anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Were you spiting me? Did I do something to you as a child that I'm not aware of? Yeah.
Right.
I know.
Well, Jason, thank you so incredibly much for taking some of your time to come up here to share your dicks with us, to introduce us to Hot and Spicy Dicks.
Hot dicks.
That's wonderful.
And you said that's going to be out in about a month or so?
Hopefully late September.
So late September?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. I don't know what else to say except for I love your dicks. I love grabbing your sacks. I love putting them in my mouth. And these are the best damn potato chips that I have
Fantastic.
had in a very long time.
Look forward to Dick's.
Thank you. Thank you. We're
Absolutely.
very
Thank you.
grateful. And and thank you for, again, you're a community, part of the community here, and, these chips are part of the community. So thank you for welcoming me
Absolutely,
as Cincinnati has done for us. And hopefully we'll be back soon.
Absolutely,
Excellent.
yeah. If
All
you're
right.
ever up in the Blue Ash area on a Tuesday, for the most part,
Yeah.
this
Stop
is where
on
you'll
by.
find us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got
right.
it.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.